All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning. How is everybody doing today? Hello, hello. Hello? Is there anyone out there? Hello? Hello? I don't hear anyone. What's going on? I don't hear any responses. What's happening? Oh, that's right. I'm streaming on Twitch. I can't hear you. All right, so welcome, everybody. How's everyone doing today? I hope that you're doing well. It is the weekend. I hope you're all having a good weekend. And I welcome you all here to my gameplay stream. The first of two for today. Doing things a little differently today, admittedly. Alright, doing things a little differently than the norm. Why? Because today, ladies and gentlemen, is Saturday the 9th of January 2021. And today, Assassin's Creed Valhalla is actually returning to be the main gameplay stream. Okay, it has now actually been a main gameplay stream since early November, since that week before the PS5 released. Basically what happened was, you know, that launch week, it was Yakuza 7 and Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And then when the PS5 came out later that week, both of those games kind of went to the back burner, ended up kind of being night streams for quite a long time here. And then once I got through all the PS5 games, of which there were quite a bit, remember there was like 3 to 4 major playthroughs that I did based on the PS5 alone. But once we wrapped those up, then Yakuza 7 became a main gameplay stream, and I focused on that for quite some time. But it isn't until today that Assassin's Creed Valhalla is finally returning to a mainstream for major progress. Now, because of that, a couple things have happened, alright? First of all, many people have basically kind of written off the playthrough. Alright, saying, oh, okay, well, Phil hasn't played it that much, the game's boring, the game's not interesting, it's only a night stream, I don't attend those late night streams, so it's no big deal, it's not a major focus, you know. People just kind of completely wrote the game off, even though, admittedly, I think that once I got through the first, I'd say 10 to 15 hours, the intro segment, okay, I feel the game got a lot better. Once you start unlocking tons of combat abilities, and once you start unlocking the weapons in particular, like right now I'm dual wielding a spear and a giant axe, okay? And once I started getting some of these crazy good combat abilities and this dual wielding capability, I feel the game got a lot better. Okay, now, the thing is, I agree with Sage Fox Sox. He says there's just a bandwagon mentality of negativity towards Ubisoft games, okay? I agree with that. At the same time, admittedly, when I started playing this game, okay, this game was incredibly buggy. Alright, just to clarify here, it was incredibly buggy. The game has a ton of bugs. It's an open world Ubisoft game, and we all know, with open world Ubisoft games, there just tend to be a ton of bugs for whatever freaking reason. Okay? And the funny thing about that is, I was calling this game out and heavily criticizing it, saying this game is full of bugs when it first came out. But then what happened? Cyberpunk came out. And let's face it, Cyberpunk is pretty much the buggiest major game release in the last 10 years at this point. Like, this game tops Fallout 76. This game tops anything, you know, like any game that was full of bugs at launch. Cyberpunk's worse. So I think what ended up happening was, kind of in comparison to Cyberpunk, this game doesn't look so bad anymore. Although it's funny because I'm you know, obviously I'm continuing my playthrough, and we're seeing more and more bugs emerge as I play the game. It's like, undoubtedly, you see, what the hell, there's floating characters, weird stuff happening, AI is just going crazy, graphical glitches, you know, and it's out the butt, basically. It's basically just crazy, alright? But the thing is, I'm still having a good time with this game. I want you guys to understand that, even though this game has been only a night stream for the past month and a half to 2 months, I'm still having fun with it. I'm over 40 hours into the playthrough now, okay? Now, if you do everything in the game, supposedly the game's 80 hours long. There's no way I'm doing everything in the game. The game has a tremendous amount of content. If you just look at the map itself, you could become incredibly overwhelmed. Much like Cyberpunk, you could become incredibly overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that's sitting on the map. And be like, what the hell? Like, why is there this much to do? It's just, it's nuts, the amount of content that they put in this thing. But that being said, I am enjoying myself, and I'm looking forward to more of this playthrough for sure. The other reason that I think people are kind of being, negative is, I mean, let's be honest here. The main reason I'm putting this as the main playthrough is because I need to get it done. My year-end series have been on hiatus for the longest time. I have not been able to do my year-end series because Assassin's Creed and Yakuza 7 are unfinished playthroughs. These are playthroughs I started in November, and then so many effing releases came out in a short period of time that I just didn't have time to focus on this game at all, so I couldn't really get through it. And here we are, over 1 week into the new year, and I'm not close to the end of the game yet. Now, from those who've played the game, they're saying I'm definitely past the halfway point. So that's obviously a good thing, that I'm past the halfway point. At the very same time, this could take weeks to finish. So knowing that, I said there's no way I can continue to have this be a night stream if I'm only playing it in like 2-hour segments, right? And I'm only playing it like 2-3 times a week, so maybe 6 hours a week. This could take me another 2 months to beat. There's no way I can do that. Okay? So, the thing is, the reason I'm doing this is very simple. I need to make progress in the game. I like the game, even though it is buggy and it has flaws. I'm enjoying the game overall. I'm having a good time with it, and I want to continue on with the playthrough. The only way to progress at this point is to have it be the main stream. I will never finish this game as a night stream in any kind of a timely manner. It's just too long of a game. Now, I actually heavily criticized the game the last time I played it. I said, I honestly feel that the game has too much content that even though it's main story missions, they're still filler. All right? So to give you some perspective here, last time around, I played for 2 hours. Out of the 2 hours that I played, 90 minutes of that could have literally been cut out of the game and nothing would have been lost. It ended up being like, oh, you gotta go kidnap some guy from a base. You kidnap some guy from a base. He ends up being a body double of the guy you really wanted to kidnap. So now you gotta launch an elaborate plan to try to lure the guy you're actually trying to catch. And it's like, dude, this whole segment could have been cut out of the game. It adds nothing to the game at all. I played for 2 hours, and the only thing that we actually got is one of the main characters, Basim. We finally got a little bit of background about him and his family and his story. And that was great. And I was like, why couldn't we have just gotten that and gotten back to progress in the game instead of having to do all this fucking, like, busy work as the main gameplay of the game? And that, honestly, I hate to admit it, that's one of my major criticisms of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, is that a lot of even the story-based missions are just repetitive busy work to kind of make the game longer instead of advancing the plot. And that's not good. I feel like my time is valuable. It is. I mean, I'm a variety streamer. You guys want to see me play a variety of games. And when I'm playing an 80-hour playthrough of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and out of the 80 hours, 50 of those could have been skipped and are meaningless. It's just busy work gameplay. That's not good. And that's a major criticism of Ubisoft games. Look at all their games. Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, right? These games that have giant, even Watch Dogs Legion that came out recently. These games all have giant open worlds and a ton of content, but how much of that content is meaningful? And that's a major problem. It's quantity over quality, I feel. And that's not a good thing. When you're investing your time, especially a lengthy game, you want to be sure that what you're doing feels like it's valid. Like, okay, this is actually interesting progress on the game or whatever. And sadly, I just don't feel that. I kind of feel like what I've been doing in Assassin's Creed Valhalla a lot of the time is wasted time. All right? So in light of that, okay, there's no way that I could beat this game if I didn't switch it to the main gameplay stream. At this point, like, seriously, I would be playing it for another 2 months. I'm only 40 hours into a game that supposedly is 80 hours. Now, again, do I feel my playthrough is going to be 80 hours? Probably not. Because likely, I'm not going to be doing a lot of the side content of this game. It's going to more likely be I'm going to just try to get through it and do main story missions for the most part. I'm not saying I'm going to purposely ignore meaningful content, but at the same time, I can't just keep focusing on, every piece of side content when I know I need to beat this game to do my year-end series, right? So, let's see what happens, all right? Let's play today as the main gameplay stream, 3+ hours of advancement. I'm going to be focusing on the story. If there is some side content to check out, I'll do it. That's if it's interesting, but for the most part, I'm going to try to focus on story missions, and we'll see how far we can get. And my goal is in the next 2 weeks, okay, that's my goal. 2 weeks I'm basically giving myself. I want to kind of see if by the end of January, can I finish up this game along with Yakuza 7, and then start working on my year-end series, because this is the latest I've ever done my year-end series. Typically, my year-end series happen within either the last week of December or the first 2 weeks of January, and this year I can't do them like that. Just too many effing games came out in such a short period of time. There was just no way I could have done them. So let's see what happens, all right? But I am excited for today. I'm excited, hopefully, for advancement. And I certainly hope that, we can, number one, make good progress. And number two, I hope you guys will check this stuff out, all right? I hope that you will give it a shot. I'm telling you, it has been entertaining and fun. And I feel that, sadly, people have written off this game because it's an Ubisoft game, because it's an Assassin's Creed game, and so many people are screaming, oh, it's the same as other Assassin's Creed games. I'm like, well, actually, no, it's not. There's actually significant differences between this game and other Assassin's Creed games. But, see, that's the thing. Like, I feel that people just want to write it off without actually being fair, and that's not really right. You know what I mean? Like, it just sucks because I like the game, and I want to cover every major release, and, when I'm doing year-end countdowns and the like, I need to be able to play all the games, and people are like, oh, just skip Assassin's Creed. What? It's one of the major games of the year. It's got a good plot. It's got interesting, advancements of the mechanics from the last couple games. Why would I skip it? Oh, because it's too long, it's Ubisoft. What? It's just, like, such bias, And I'm not like that. I give everything a fair shot, usually. So, what I will say is this. If you don't like Assassin's Creed, that's fine. Okay? And that's perfectly okay. Alright? But understand, this is going to be a focus of mine in the next couple of weeks, to try to get through and beat the game. Alright? If you don't like that, oh man, I hate Assassin's Creed, that's fine. But please just don't sit around and complain. Alright? If you're not gonna enjoy it, come back when I'm playing something completely different. Alright, later tonight I'm playing Immortals Phoenix Rising. That game's completely different. That game has a ton of this open world exploration with puzzles and the like. It's a Greek mythology style plotline with some humor and stuff written into it. It's very different, okay? Tomorrow, Yakuza 7 continues. Tomorrow night, it's Black Ops Cold War multiplayer. Totally different kinds of games. You see what I'm saying? I'm a variety streamer. You don't have to be here if you don't like what I'm doing. I don't want to force you to sit here and not enjoy what I'm doing. Alright? And I hope that you understand that, okay? Now, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are here, welcome. This will be a fun and chill and interactive stream if we make it that, alright? Because I want to emphasize that. Sometimes when I play Assassin's Creed Valhalla, particularly on the late streams, people just tune out. Oh, well, I don't particularly like the game, so I'm just going to ignore it, and I'm going to have my own discussions in the stream that have nothing to do with the game or what Phil's doing. I'm not even going to talk with Phil. We're just going to have our own, private discussions. Now, guess what? That's counterproductive. That's not the point of being on my stream. You could easily go have those discussions outside of my stream. If you derail the stream talking about shit that has nothing to do with anything that I'm talking about, has nothing to do with the game, you're not addressing me, alright? You're derailing the stream. Okay? And please understand that. Because it's frustrating when I'm playing a game like this, and I'm trying to put out an entertaining stream, and no one's talking to me. Everyone's just having their own conversations and shit. It's like, then why did you even come to the stream today? You knew I was playing Assassin's Creed, right? If it doesn't interest you, and you don't want to talk to me, then you don't have to be here. But some people have been doing this recently with Assassin's Creed, and it's frustrating. Okay? It is. It's frustrating. This is not an open chat room. So just being honest here, it's not. This is not some random open chat where you can talk about what, random topics that have nothing to do. You can go do that outside of the stream. You don't have to be on this stream then. Please understand, this is my gameplay stream. This is a place of business, as well as a place where a community can hang out and communicate. If you're going to have completely unrelated discussions that are going to derail the stream, and now people are going to come into the stream expecting to see Assassin's Creed gameplay and an engaged community talking with me about it, and if they come in and you're talking about things that have nothing to do with this, they're going to be like, what the fuck is going on? I've gotten some complaints recently as well. And it's not just this game, too. It's a couple others where people are like, I don't understand why you let your chat go off on such a tangent, You know, I'm coming in expecting to have a good time talking about a game or whatever, and instead it's people talking about such random stuff, and you're not even like talking to the people. Like, yeah, because if people are completely disengaged from what I'm doing, I can't even talk to them because I don't know what's going on. You see? So just please understand, all right? It's that simple. This is a gameplay stream. I'm playing Assassin's Creed. You don't like it? That's fine. You don't want to talk to me? That's fine. Come back later. You know? Come back later when it's something that interests you. Please don't derail the stream. Don't turn it into something it's not. And certainly don't completely disengage from myself, because that's not the point of a Twitch stream. You understand that, right? This is not a public teen chat where everyone can just gab about anything. No, it's not. It's not supposed to be. Okay? All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, fun stream ahead. Hopefully we'll have a good time. And I hope you guys will give it a really hope you guys will give the game a shot. If you watch today's stream and you're like, all right, this game ain't my cup of tea, then I understand. But I just feel a lot of people have completely written off Assassin's Creed Valhalla without even watching any of it, or watching like a second of it, and not understanding that the game actually can be pretty entertaining. Okay? So there you go. All right. Now, later tonight, the late stream tonight will be Immortals Fenyx Rising. I played this 2 days ago, and to me, it's pretty interesting. It definitely feels kind of like Breath of the Wild. It does. If the gameplay mechanics, the open world exploration, climbing, the combat, and the puzzles. The game has a lot of puzzles to it, which is kind of different, and it feels very much like Breath of the Wild when it comes to the puzzles as well. And that's a good thing, because I haven't played a game with good puzzle gameplay in a very long time. Like, I was actually saying this during the last stream, that I feel that having a game with puzzles is actually kind of refreshing, because I haven't done something like that in a while. So, that should be fun later tonight as the late stream. Hope you'll join me for that. Something different. Tomorrow is the continuation of Yakuza 7. I'm in chapter 13 to 15. We're heading into the end game, but from what I'm being told, there's still quite a lot to go. Alright, there is apparently good story developments, but there's also another optional dungeon that's actually going to open up at some point to help you prepare for the end of the game, and obviously I want to do that. I've done most of the major side missions in the game at this point, but apparently there's a couple more if I choose to do them that I can do. We'll see. I'm also in the midst of the business side missions, where you have to, you know, raise businesses and hire employees and then do boardroom meetings. And apparently if you complete that, there's some really good rewards at the end of it. So I'm working on that right now. In fact, that's where we ended yesterday's stream, and I'll continue that tomorrow when we pick up the playthrough. That's where we'll resume from. Okay? So that's tomorrow's main stream. Tomorrow night, Sunday night, Black Ops Cold War multiplayer. Obviously, I'm excited for that. It's kind of hit or miss, though. It depends on the server performance. But in general, I've been having a good time with it and having fun. And I hope that you guys will join me for that tomorrow night. On Monday, it'll be more of the same from today. It'll be Assassin's Creed on the main stream, and it'll be more Immortals Fenyx Rising on the late stream. Okay? So that's the streaming week. I'm off on Tuesday. And then when I come back on Wednesday, it'll be a balance between Assassin's Creed and Yakuza 7 on the main streams with a mix of stuff at night. Okay? Alright, so now, of course, people are being completely dickheads to me and saying, oh, Phil, stop telling people to talk about stuff on pre-stream that has nothing to do with what you're talking about. And how about you grow up? Seriously, like, you think it's funny? It's not. Like, how about you grow up? Stop fucking trying to be dicks and be like, oh, being sarcastic jerks. Because I've seen a real problem during the Assassin's Creed playthrough where people are just disengaged and not paying attention and derailing the stream, and I address it, and now people are, oh, Phil, people can't talk about other things. Like, seriously, how about you just stop being sarcastic jerks to me for a bit? How about that? Right? How about that? Because I realize that some of you are just here to be sarcastic jerks to me, and maybe the time for that is over. You know, maybe it's time to actually have people here who want to be a community, who are here for positivity and fun, and not to just fucking constantly try to annoy me. You ever think about that? You ever think that maybe 2021 is a new year where I'm just tired of putting up with stupid shit? Yeah, maybe. So maybe if you're here to just complain, you should shut the fuck up and leave. Yeah. It does. It's frustrating as a content creator. It is. When every little thing I say and do is microanalyzed, and everyone's got to constantly be a sarcastic jerk. It's like, it's one thing to be razzed. All right, I get that. And it's another thing when I'm trying to make a serious point. Like it actually has been a serious problem during the Assassin's Creed Valhalla playthrough. People disengaging from me during the playthrough, not paying attention and doing their own thing. And then people complain to me behind the scenes that the playthrough's not so good because there's not a lot of good interactions or anything. So I address it, and now people just want to make fun. No, enough of that. Shut the fuck up. Tired of it, you know? If you're not going to take it seriously, then you don't have to be here. Like I said, you could do other shit, all right? If you don't like the pre-streams, don't sit on the pre-stream and complain about the pre-stream. Leave. It's not rocket science. All right. Anyway, guys. Let's continue, shall we? So that's the gameplay schedule for the next week or so. As you guys know, there's lots of more stuff coming up. You know, later this month, there's new releases with games like Hitman and the like. I'm excited for that, and we'll get to those when we get to them. All right, Hitman's on the 20th, by the way, so a little less than 2 weeks, and Hitman 3 begins, which I'm excited for. Couple things. First of all, retrospective marathon event is happening either later this month or early February. I'm aiming for later this month, but it really depends on how stuff goes with the gaming schedule. Okay, and I certainly hope that you guys will nominate your favorite moments from my over 12 years as a content creator, all right? Because I need those moments to actually do the marathon. Just being honest here. The more stuff you nominate, the better, because that'll give me more to work with when I'm looking through it and saying, oh, this is a good thing we can watch together during the marathon or whatever. It's really cool, all right? It is really cool that I get to go back and watch some of this stuff for the first time in years and years. As you guys know, I'm a prolific content creator. I put out stuff every single day. So much that I don't go back and really reminisce on it unless we do one of these special retrospective events, all right? So please nominate stuff. How do you submit? Someone just asked, how do you submit? You can type !retrospective into the stream chat, or every 20 minutes or so, the link will actually just pop up in the stream chat that you can just click on it, and it goes to my forums, and that's where you can post stuff up, all right? The criteria there, it explains it right there in the forums. Please give it a look, and please submit. I'd like to do that by around the end of the month. We'll see how it goes, okay? Now, in addition to that, if you look at the top of the screen, you may notice we have a subscriber goal in place. 875 subs, all right, by the end of this month. Now, the way this works is it's concurrent subs, meaning at one point this month, we're trying to have at least 875 subs for the channel, all right? If we hit that, it'll be the return of the retrospective. Let's try that again. It'll be the return of the Viewer's Choice event. What is the Viewer's Choice event? Well, you guys get to nominate and then vote on a game. That will be a full playthrough here for my streams. All right, we'll actually do a full-on game playthrough, which is pretty neat. All right, and I really enjoy these. You guys have exposed me to many genres of gaming over the years during these Viewer's Choice events that I never even knew existed, and have turned into really interesting franchises that I've really enjoyed. I mean, Yakuza. I never, until a Viewer's Choice event, I never even knew what it was. Persona, Super Mario Sunshine, some of the classic Sonic series games, like Sonic 06, oh boy, and Sonic Adventure, okay? Well, Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, because I played 2. Spyro series, Crash Bandicoot. This is all stuff that over the years, you guys have nominated for Viewer's Choice and have turned into really amazing playthroughs, and I'm grateful for that, okay? So I'd like to do another one, all right? But you guys have to you guys have to subscribe to make it happen, and once we hit the subscriber goal, then you guys will be able to nominate and vote on games, all right? Now, one thing I need to warn all of you of. Right before Christmas, there was a 100 sub donation bomb that happened on the channel, all right? So right now, we're around 40 subs away from hitting the sub goal for the month. That's pretty close, actually, all right? But in about 2 weeks, maybe even a little less than 2 weeks, all right, there's going to be a big dip in subscriptions because of the 100 subs that were donated. So that being said, if we're going to hit the sub goal for the month, we've got to take action on it now. Now would be the best time. If you were waiting to subscribe to the channel, now would absolutely be the best time to do so. If you were looking to gift some subs to the channel, to help out with the sub goal. Now would be the time to do it. Let's hit the sub goal now. Get it done with. So that way, when these subscriptions expire in a couple of weeks and we dip 100 subs, we've already hit the goal and we're good to go on this event. All right? If we don't, then chances are this is what's going to happen. You know, it's going to dip by 100 subs, and how are we going to make up all those subs? Chances are we're not going to. Okay? So obviously I don't want that to happen. I don't want people to sub, and we're close to the goal, and then we don't hit it because subs expire. Gifted subs. All right? So please, consider subbing to the channel. Think of all the benefits you get. Over 40 emotes you get access to by subbing to my channel, including the emote that soon will be the replacement for PogChamp. That's correct. No, I'm just kidding. That's never going to happen. But just joking. But also, you don't have to watch advertisements when I take ad breaks. In addition to that, you get a cool chat crown badge to show how long you've been an ongoing supporter of the channel. All right? So, please consider subbing. Or, hey, maybe you want to help someone out who you're friendly with on the channel, or just gift a random sub to a random viewer who's lucky. All those things, you know, help out the channel and will aid us to get to our subscriber goal, okay? So thank you in advance to anyone who does do that, all right? All right. Now, I don't really have any gaming news to talk about today at all, all right? Not really. There's really no gaming news going on today. There's one quick topic I want to talk about, then we'll do a little bit of gratuitous plugs, and then we'll get to shout-outs for your contributions this morning, all right? The only topic I want to talk about is pretty simple, all right? In particular, this past week, a hell of a lot of stuff has been going on in the United States that's very political. Now, you guys, especially if you've been around for a long time, you know me, I'm not a political guy when it comes to my content. I'm certainly not saying that I don't have political views myself. I do, all right? But you don't often hear them because I feel that my gameplay streams should be a place where you can come and chill and hang out and kind of disconnect, from all of that drama shit that you get in real. All day you get bombarded with politics and shit on social media and on the TV and everything. The absolute last thing you want to do is come to a gameplay stream and have to be talked to politically, right? And I've even said I feel you guys are smart enough that you can make judgments for yourself and the like. One time this last week, I did have a political segment, and it was very, very towing the middle. It wasn't to one side or the other, and it really wasn't even me giving an opinion on what to believe. It was more just kind of very generally discussing facts about what's been going on in our country this year and how screwed up our country is. All right? Outside of that, pretty much nothing on the streams, but I have posted up a couple things this week on Twitter, okay? And after doing that, I've been contacted by a few people kind of behind the scenes saying that they feel that that was going too far and that I'm supposed to be a gamer, and why am I posting up political stuff on my Twitter? They don't come to me for politics. It's very off-putting and disheartening that I would do that because they don't want that, yada, yada, yada. All right? Now, there's a couple things. First of all, I really feel that the reason that that happened is because it's not something that I often do. You guys know that. My streams are purposely staying away from that kind of stuff, right? And so this week, the fact that I actually posted up a few political things on Twitter and I talked about a few political things on my streams, that was not the norm. And some people were taken aback by that and saying, "Oh man, you know, why what is going on with this? Why is Phil doing this?" Okay? In addition, I hate to say this, but I just feel that there's too many people that are black and white thinkers. All right? What does that mean? It means that it's kind of like you're either with me or you're against me. And the sooner people realize that's not how life is, the better. Life is not, I'm right, you're wrong all the time. If you don't believe what I believe, if you don't think how I think, you're an enemy and, you know, you're part of the problem. That's the worst thing you can do in life, is to be a black or white, all or nothing mentality, okay? And in reality, I feel that's one of the major problems with the American government, is that we have a two-party system. And if you don't think Democrat, you're against the Democrats. If you don't think Republican, you're against the Republicans. Let me tell you guys something, all right? I consider myself, they would call me a centrist. I don't consider myself a centrist. I consider myself someone who basically looks at a situation and tries to figure out the best solution for all. Like, I think about the common good rather than the good of myself or the good of others. I think of the common good of everyone, like, succeeding together. You know what I'm saying? And sadly, our political system just isn't equipped for that. Our political system is like, you have to be all one way or all the other way. And if you're not, you're the enemy. And that's not a good way to go through life. And I feel that because this week I've stepped up and I said some things on stream, and I particularly said some things on Twitter that were not, how can I say? They were definitely politically charged. They were definitely critical of things going on in the world, in our government, and particular parties of people who were involved with particular rioting things that happened in our capital this week. All right? So because of that, people get off, oh my God, I can't believe Phil's doing this. I come to Phil for gameplay. How dare he say and do these things? Okay? Now, what I will say is this. Fair enough. I mean, that is a fair assessment. I usually don't talk about that stuff on my streams, and certainly almost never on my Twitter. Again, look at my Twitter. The history of my Twitter is mostly just talking about games, right? That's pretty much it. Or my game schedule, my stream schedule, or whatever, right? I hear you. So you're actually, I would say that assessment is correct. It is out of the norm. But what I will say is this, all right? I am a content creator, but I also realize that people find influence in things that I say and do, okay? And being that I have a following, is it a ginormous following? No. And quite frankly, I wish that people out there who had much bigger followings than me would be way more responsible. There are people out there who get thousands of people on a stream a day, millions of people watching their content every day, and all they do is make meme jokes and do stupid shit. I mean, you have an opportunity to help people, right? And you don't do it. Instead, we gotta play Fortnite. It's like, oh my God, really? Okay. You go have your fucking Fortnite stream and do a conga line wearing banana outfits and very meaningful stuff at a time when everything's being torn apart around us. Let's just, talk about the new Nerf shotgun and the new stupid superhero outfit. You know, it's like, this is what they do, right? And it's like I said on Twitter, with great power comes great responsibility, all right? When you see things actively going on around you, history-making things, okay, to put your finger in your ear and say, I don't hear it, I don't see it, see no evil, hear no evil, right? That, to me, that's irresponsible. There's so many people out there who have an audience, and sadly, they don't use that audience for good. They only use it for personal gain. There's people out there who will purposely not say a damn thing about anything that happened this week because they're, God forbid, they upset a sponsor, or God forbid, they upset someone out there who now will not watch their content, right? And you guys know me, all right? I am not one to pull punches. I am not one to hold back and not say something that I feel needs to be said. That's why I'm the kind of person I am. That's why, let's be honest, that's why I'm not as popular as I could possibly be. Because I don't play the game. I don't play the game of sponsors and all that shit. You guys know that. I'm here to be honest with you on a daily basis. So when I see our country coming apart at the fucking seams because of bullshit, I'm going to talk about it. All right? Now, understandably, you're not here for that. Right? No one's coming to Phil's stream to hear Phil talk about what's going on in the U.S. Capitol and all. I understand that. That's why, if you noticed, it has not been the focus of my streams. And this week, if you watched the actual gameplay streams, I kept that shit out of there. If you're watching the playthroughs, we're not talking about that shit. If I'm going to talk about it, I'm going to talk about it on the pre-stream only, get it done, and so when we get to gameplay, we're not talking about that. How many content creators' content this week was all about it? Right? I guarantee you a giant chunk of content creators this week, all they did was talk about this shit. Politics, politics, politics. Not me. I got a couple posts on Twitter, one pre-stream, we're done with it. We can move on, you see? That's why I do it like this. And when people say to me, why do you do a pre-stream? There's a very fucking good reason why. So what I would say is this, is if you guys enjoy my content and you're happy that this week I did not just talk politics all week, be grateful that I do a pre-stream. Be happy that that's the way I set up my content. That my entire week was not just politics talking, all right? Because it very well could have been me just gabbing politics all week, and it would have gotten tons of attention and views and controversy and all that. And I don't play that game, all right? I'm just here to put out fun content for you guys, all right? But at the very same time, like I said, with great power comes great responsibility, and I understand that I have an audience. It's not a giant audience, certainly nowhere near as big as I had 10 years ago, but it's still an audience. And I feel that if I can do some good to make someone think maybe a little bit differently from the way they were thinking because they were just following a groupthink mentality, and they're not really thinking for themselves or thinking outside of the box, but instead just thinking about what they're being told to think, if I can help you to maybe have a different kind of a view for 5 seconds, then I feel that that's something productive and useful. And I'm going to do that, all right? And it's my right to do that. Again, I have a venue here by which I can do that. And if I feel like I can be positive or beneficial to you guys, I have the right to do that. No one has the right to tell me, oh, Phil, you're a content creator. How dare you waste our time talking about politics and talking about that? You're just supposed to be playing games, right? Like, what? What are you talking about? I mean, I understand that people come here for games, but, you know, who are you to tell me now, right? It's all, you want to talk about freedom of speech and criticizing freedom of speech. I have the right to talk about whatever I want on my streams, right? So, for you to tell me not to talk politics is kind of hypocritical, you see? But understood. Message has been received. I get it. You guys don't come here for politics. You don't go to my Twitter for politics. And some people are, you know, admittedly upset that this week a couple times I talked politics. If I feel that there is something so great happening in the world that I need to talk about it and there's a political vibe to it, I will. And let me just put it this way, guys. It's very tough to be someone in the middle. Here's why. No matter what I say or do, I upset someone. Because sometimes I'll feel that people on the left of the political spectrum may be in the right. Sometimes I'll feel that people in the right of the political spectrum are in the right. And sometimes I don't believe that anyone's right. And no matter what I say, I upset everybody. Because I'm not to one side. We are in this really fueled, polarized political system where, again, if you're not with me, you're against me. And because of that mentality, so many people get offended when I say something that's not in line with what they believe, that they could turn them off. Like, how many people would say, well, Phil said this, I don't believe him anymore, I'm not watching his content anymore, right? Like, what? Why? Tell me how often on my streams I even talk about this stuff. So why? Because I once in a few years mentioned it. Why would this somehow become a reason that you don't want to watch my gameplay anymore, right? But that's how some people just are, okay? So, that being said, I apologize to anyone who I annoyed or offended this week, but please understand that it is well within my right to talk about this stuff if I feel like it. And again, if I'm feeling some kind of a responsibility to do so because I feel like it's for the betterment of the good of everyone, I will talk about it. But we're done. We're past that. At this point, I don't really feel I need to keep harping on it. I just sit on Twitter and laugh now. I sit on Twitter and I read the trends and I just laugh at how people are so misinformed and stupid. They don't even they think they know what 1984 actually was about when they never read the book. They actually think they understand what the First Amendment is when they don't. And I just sit and laugh. I'm like, whatever. I'm just gonna, you know what? I'll just keep my opinions to myself. If someone asks me specifically and we want to do a very brief segment where I talk about it on a stream, I will. Or maybe I won't. I'll leave that option open. But this is not something that I'm going to be, you know, focusing on constantly. Because it's just ridiculous at this point. You know, you see this, you're like, you got to be joking me. Like, and God forbid that I say anything. People will be so upset with me that I would actually say something, you know, about it. Because I'm just a dumb gamer, right? Okay. Fair enough. All right, guys. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am an independent. That is correct. I mean, I just literally just talked about this. I don't have any sponsors. I'm not contracted to stream anywhere. I don't make money when I turn on my stream. That's not how it works, all right? I'm doing this because I love it. I love gaming. I love streaming. I love interacting with you guys on a daily basis, all right? I absolutely love what I do for my job. This is the best job I've ever had. It's a job that I would like to keep for as long as I possibly can because, man, is it awesome. It really is. That being said, because I don't pull punches, because I don't shill for anyone, because I don't kiss butt, I don't do paid gameplay streams, promotions, reviews. I rely on your crowdfunding efforts in order to make a living. All right? It's you guys supporting these streams via crowdfunding. That's why I'm allowed to keep doing this for a living. But the good thing about that is because I don't have sponsors, because I'm not contracted to stream somewhere, I can be honest with you guys all the time. When I'm playing a game, I don't have to kiss its butt or pull punches, or I'm not under a fucking NDA, non-disclosure agreement where I can't say shit. I can do whatever I want, and you guys like that. That's why 12 years later, I'm still pertinent, and you guys still watch my content. It's certainly not because I'm the most innovative gamer out there, right? Let's be honest here. It's because I'm different than a lot of other people who do this for a living, and you guys appreciate that, all right? Or else you wouldn't have supported me for the past 12 plus years. So, thank you. Okay? Thank you for that. Thank you for 12 years of support. Thank you for allowing me to do what I love for a living and to have an audience. And thank you for being so supportive, because I really do appreciate that, all right? Now, that being said, if you like my content, if you like my streams, if you like me, right? And you want to support everything here, what can you do to support it? I'll tell you. Well, you can cheer with bits. You can subscribe to my channel. You can gift a subscription to my channel to try to reach that subs goal for the month. Or you can tip me. These are all things you can do to support my efforts to keep doing this for a living and to keep the content coming. All right? In particular, out of all those ways that I just mentioned, all right, I would say tipping helps a little bit more than everything else. Reason being because tips I get immediately. Tips are funds that I can put towards something very important right away. Whether it's things behind the scenes, whether it's things that are more visible, like paying for a game on stream or whatever, the tipping helps tons. All right? And so, if you do support my content and you're going to tip, thank you in advance. All right? I want you guys to understand something. My streams are 100% free and always will be. Contributions are not mandatory, nor are they expected. I consider it going above and beyond being a standard stream viewer of mine if you're actually supporting the content, okay? And I appreciate that very much. I really, really do. That's why on every stream, I try to go above and beyond and give a shout out for every single contribution that I receive. Now, there are some exceptions. Sometimes I'll miss one, and what can you do? I'm only human. I try to make up for that with, giving shout outs as timely as I can and everything, but sometimes I'll miss one or two here or there. But sometimes there's also trolls who are coming in here and they're only cheering to try to get attention and say something negative or insulting. I have the ability to, decide what is pertinent to my streams and what I'm going to say and do on my streams. I don't have to give a shout out for everything, especially if someone's being a dickhead. All right. Well, please understand, I'm so grateful for your support that I do my absolute best to try to shout out everything that I can whenever I can. Okay. Now, a few things to know about if you are going to support the streams. Okay. First off, I want you guys to be protected. I want it so that if you're going to be a viewer of my content, you are not at risk, okay? And so one thing I'm going to say right off the bat, if you're going to view my stuff on a regular basis, if you're going to chat in the stream chat, if you're going to contribute in particular to the streams, please do your best to protect your identity online. There are people out there, my haters, my trolls, whatever you want to call them. They will go out of their way to try to harass people who are regulars on the streams simply because they can. They get no personal gain out of it, and it doesn't even negatively affect me. They just do it just to fucking do it because they're nuts. They can get away with it anonymously. If I can maliciously hurt someone and get away with it, I'll do it. Right? That's their mentality. It's the stupidest mentality possible, but that's their mentality. So, I want you guys to be protected. Please, if you're going to be here on my streams, do not associate your real life information with stuff that you do on the stream. Don't make your name the same as your name on social media or in real life. You definitely want to make up some kind of a different name to protect your information. I strongly recommend you turn off open direct messages here on Twitch. Sadly, people use these all the time for malicious intentions, in particular to harass people, to spam you with annoying messages, to make you click a link and then they fuck with your stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you want to be careful about what you do here. And I personally have made it so that only people on my friends list will show up and then be able to send those DMs. That way it's more trustworthy, okay? Now, also, If you were planning on tipping me, which, as I've mentioned, is the best way to contribute on the streams, it helps me out more than anything. If this is something that you would like to do to help out, all right, I strongly recommend that you create what's called a verified PayPal account. What does that mean? It means that when you go to PayPal, you're not just sending an anonymous credit card payment. Instead, you're actually creating an account where you log in with your name, your mailing address, and a linked bank account. Why? Because a verified PayPal account protects both you and me from potential fraud. By actually putting that information in there, parties are now protected from any kind of malicious activity. In particular, in the last 4 months, starting back in like September, I saw a ridiculous amount of fake tips that were tossed toward my channel with stolen credit cards. Okay? Very, very bad. Every single time that happened, it was a felony. There were days when, I'm not exaggerating, 60 or more stolen credit card transactions in a day. This person, if they were ever caught, would be going to jail for a ridiculously long time. All right? But again, much like my haters and trolls, oh, I can just get away with it on the internet. I'll just keep doing it. It's fine. Right? No morality, no fucking conscious thought here. Just insanity, really, when you really think about it. You know, so that being said, please, if you like my stuff and you want to tip me, all right, please go that extra mile and please create that verified account. When you do, I know that that's a valid tip. I know that's not someone using a stolen credit card to mess with me, and I don't have to do what's called a tip audit, which I really don't like doing. I don't like having to go into PayPal behind the scenes during a gameplay stream to verify if a tip is real or not. That's very frustrating to me that I would have to do that, but sadly I've had to do it a lot in the last several months simply because people keep messing with me. And I can't have tons of fake tips coming in. I can't multiple reasons. Number one, because it screws with my income, but also it could screw with my PayPal account. You know, when that happens, there's all kinds of things, fees associated with it. There's penalties associated with it, with fake tips constantly coming in, having to reverse them and everything. So this is for everyone's own good. If you tip me with a verified account, it doesn't waste everyone's time. You see what I'm saying? And I want to say thank you to those of you in the last couple of weeks who have set up verified accounts. Many people who are ongoing supporters have done so, and it has protected me a lot, and it has helped you guys too, because again, it protects you from fraud. When you have that verified account, PayPal gives you all these protections. They call it like buyer or seller protection, where if someone tries to screw you over, PayPal will back you. You know, they'll protect the whatever you're spending, which is good. Everyone wants that, right? So why not go the extra mile? And by the way, one thing I'll say, don't believe assholes who want to say negative things like, oh, you'll get doxxed or whatever. That's complete and utter fucking bullshit. No, you're not. You don't get doxxed when you give your information to PayPal. Just think about how dumb this is. They would be sued into oblivion if they gave your information away, right? Like, how dumb can you be to believe that? They're a major corporation. If they just give away your personal info, they would be sued for millions of dollars. All right? So anyway, guys, thank you in advance for anyone who considers contributing to my stuff. I appreciate that very much. Thanks for going that extra mile. And let's have a good stream today. All right, let's see if we can get some good progress in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Let's see if we can hit the goals. By the way, tips goals are in effect today. We've got, for $50, I'll put on the Gunner glasses. For $100, I'll put on a vest. Now, yesterday, I wore the beige vest. Just the beige vest. That's right. So today, all other vests would be eligible. That would be the blue, the red, the platinum, the camo, or the gray. All of those vests would be eligible. Okay? Fair enough? Okay. All right. All right. What is going on? My phone is vibrating and it's pissing me off. What is going on here? Stop this. Hold on. I'm trying to fix this. We're going to do shout-outs next, by the way, guys. Shout-outs. Okay. Just a bunch of crap. All right. Nothing important. Oh, what's going on? Look at this idiot. Here we go. Here come the morons. Here we go. Spamming the chat like an asshole. The best part about this idiot who's been spamming the chat for like 2-3 days, he keeps talking about some hater or someone who I guess who apparently is a restreamer. I don't even know who the fuck they are. I honestly have no clue who this person's talking about. So they're like trying to get attention. And they're like, did you know that this guy shut down this streamer? Like, I don't even know who you're talking about. Like, I literally have no idea. You keep coming to my stream and you keep spamming with nonsense. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Who the fuck is Dark Dave? I don't know who that is. I don't know. Like, I every once in a while, let's be honest. People come in here and they talk about the haters. Or, oh, LSB or Tevin or whoever. Who the fuck is Dark Dave? I don't even know who that is. I really have no idea. Anyway, let's get back to business here. All right. Shout out to the following people who have contributed this morning. Okay. Well, actually, I take that back because I actually believe we have people who contributed overnight that I want to shout out. So hold on. Let me get the laptop working here. Okay. Here we go. All right. So we start off with Golden Colts. What a shock. We start off with Golden Colts, who did a 50-bit cheer. And he says, what are your thoughts on people who carry around permanent reusable water bottles in public? Are they based and hydration pilled or a bunch of big babies with sippy cups? It all depends. Like, personally, I find bottled filtered water, like ones you buy at the store, to taste pretty good depending on the brand. Some of them taste terrible. Some of them taste pretty good. And it's hard to replicate that at home. If you have a home filtration system like I have a pure, P-U-R, home filtration system, I feel that my water, my filtered water, tastes pretty good after going through the filter. And therefore, it's fine if you want to have a reusable bottle you bring around with you and have that water, or if you just want to buy a bottled water. Now, some people would argue that bottled water, it's way too much plastic, and that plastic is destroying the planet. It's a green thing. It's an eco thing. I've actually noticed in the past, 5 years that most bottled water companies are using very similar water bottles now where they're very easily crushable to make them small. After they're empty, you crush it, and you put the cap back on, and now it's tiny, as flat as a piece of paper. And a lot of these are saying they're green bottles, reusable bottles or whatever, that they claim that they're more biodegradable, and therefore they're not that big of an impact on the environment. Listen, I'm not a guy who knows most about this stuff. Just being honest here, I'm not. I'm one of the last people you should ask about this shit, okay? But, that being said, in the last year, since COVID happened, okay, I used to drink bottles of water all the time. I did. I liked them. I thought that they tasted good. But, when COVID had an outbreak here in the United States, and everyone ran and basically did hoarding of resources like idiots, because there was no reason to, because we weren't going to run out of fucking resources. It was just stupidity of idiots panicking. They went and they bought up all the bottled water. Okay. And so when they bought up all the bottled water, I couldn't get it anymore. And I was like, well, I'm going to try to do something different. And that's when I bought one of these water filtration systems. All right. Quite frankly, I don't think I'm ever going to go back. Just the hassle of buying a giant pack of water every week and bringing it home, this giant heavy ass thing. It makes more sense to just use the water in my house and filter it. Seriously. Now, when I go out, I bring my thermos. My thermos here. My thermos is right here. You guys see me drinking from this every day, right? This is filtered water out of my fridge. And every day I drink this during the streams. And then when we go out, when my wife and I go out on our day off, I fill this up and we have this with us in the car. So if we get thirsty, we have filtered water to have in the car, right? So, is it smart? Is it not? I mean, I don't know. You know, I'm not an expert on this shit. Okay, I'm not. Mods, if moderators could please look at the chat. I'm trying to do pre-stream here, and I don't want to look at the chat every 5 seconds to try to stop this moron. If you guys could help out, I'd appreciate it. Moderators who were just here a minute ago. Any day. Or do I have to do it myself? I guess I have to do it myself. What's that? Do I have to filter water for my tub? What are you talking about? I don't know. Anyway, I myself now do actually use filtered water. All right? So, I like it. I do. I like the pure water. It's weird. I used to do it 1 years ago. What was the one? Was it Brita? I used to do Brita water. And when I used to drink the Brita water, it used to give me heartburn. I know that sounds weird, because I think it is, but it used to give me heartburn. For whatever reason, this pure filtered water doesn't usually do that. I don't know if the Brita water had like higher charcoal content in it or whatever in the filter, and it was bothering my stomach. But basically, yeah, I over the years I switched to now I'm using pure. I don't seem to have that issue. I have no idea. So, but anyway, yes, I use filtered water. I use a bottle myself. No, I don't think people are using sippy cups. It makes sense to kind of do this and not have to constantly be buying plastic bottles, I feel. All right? Excuse me. Jay Hawkwood says it was higher pH. Is it a higher pH level? Is that what it was? Maybe that's what it was, and it was bothering my stomach. It makes sense. Huh. Golden Cold Shoot again says, what is your favorite Jewish food? For me, it's bagels. Honestly, yeah, bagels. I love bagels. I think bagels are outstanding. For the longest time, I didn't know that was actually a Jewish cultural food. I had no clue. And then I found out, as I was growing up. I was like, well, that's pretty interesting. Bagels are very mainstream, right? Like, everyone eats bagels. And it's funny, because if you think of other Jewish foods, like, I don't think I could even mention another one that I eat. Seriously, like, bagels are crazy mainstream, and nothing else is, I don't think. So... okay, continuing on here. Phantasy Star PG did a 50-bit cheer, and this one was actually during today's stream. So let me go ahead and let me put him up on the leaderboard for the first cheer of the day. 50 bits. What we got? Okay, and he says the following: with the major streaming services like HBO Max, Disney Plus, and Apple TV coming out with a lot of new content in 2021, do you think competition will stop Netflix from doing anti-consumer practices like releasing controversial movies or canceling favorite TV shows before raising the price, or at least make them think twice? I think it's competition. It's a good thing. It's a good thing because competition makes companies become better, right? If someone has a monopoly on some kind of a service, basically they don't have any motivation to ever become better, all right? At the same time, it gets frustrating when every piece of content now is going to be behind a subscription-based service because... now you need to have Netflix if you want to see one kind of show. You need Disney if you want anything Disney, Star Wars, or Marvel. You need Hulu if you want to see normal TV shows, because that's where all the normal TV shows are getting these exclusivity contracts with. And then you need... Amazon has their own exclusive programming. See, this is the problem now. HBO Max has their own shit that certain movies are only going to be on HBO Max. But this is what happens is if everything ends up being behind a paywall, how much money you have to pay a month to see the good stuff, right? It can become a concern. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. Is it good that there's competition for Netflix? Yes. But at one point, if you had Netflix, you could pretty much get all the good shit. Now, you need to have Netflix for this. You need to have HBO for this. You need to have Disney for this. And now it's how much money a month are you going to fucking pay? And it's funny because people used to complain and say, man, cable TV is so expensive. There's no, it's so overpriced. I'm paying $80 a month for cable TV. I wish that I didn't have to do that. I wish there was an alternative. And people were like, there's Netflix. It's like $20 a month or less, and you can get all this good shit. Oh, okay. But now it's like, well, you need Netflix, which is $15 to $20 a month. You need Disney, which is $15 to $20 a month. And then you start adding up, and wait a minute, I'm paying just as fucking much now as I used to for cable. You know? So it's funny. We had a few years where things were different. But now it's kind of like things are normalizing and stabilizing to be back how they used to be. So, I guess we'll see what happens with that. What I would say is pick and choose, right? You don't have to get everything. I guess you got to kind of pick and choose what you're going to get. You know what I mean? And some people will pick and choose with their streaming services. But then there's people, I have to have everything because I want to be in the know. I want to be culturally be in the know about every single thing that comes out and happens, right? Not me. That's not me. I don't need to do that. Fantasy Star PG cheered again. It's the same streaming services topic, but a different question. With streaming service shows, we're getting bigger budgets than broadcast TV. Do you see the production value gap between TV shows and movies getting smaller? I mean, the biggest advantage movies have over TV shows, they have a large budget condensed into a 2-hour runtime, while TV shows do better in-depth stories. But now shows on Disney Plus or HBO Max will get the same Game of Thrones level budgets. Yeah, in fact, you know what blew me away? Some of these shows they're going to be doing on Disney Plus that are Marvel shows are going to have the same casting, the same level of special effects and things as the Marvel movies, which is pretty neat. Previously, like you would look at, okay, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that was the best they could do. And that was nothing like the quality of a fucking movie. Are you shitting me? That was like amateur night shit. There were like low-end special effects, cheesy stuff. Now it's like, damn, it's going to be like watching a movie as a TV show. Right? So, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay. Fantasy Star PG cheered again. Say at Microsoft gaming almost every game as a twin sibling. What? The fuck does that mean? Halo, let's listen to this. Halo and Doom, Fallout and the Outer Worlds, Elder Scrolls and Avowed. Okay. Remember the 2010 gaming Quantum Theory? Why don't Microsoft buy the rights to that so Gears can have a twin? Insert joke. Okay. Diocletian has gifted a subscription to Lay Burgu. Thank you to Diocletian very much for the gifted sub and the support of the channel. I appreciate that. Guitar Player 1939 gifted us up to Dragon Quest fan. Congratulations, Dragon Quest fan, and thank you, Guitar Player. Appreciate that. Retro Jim cheered and says, the chat is the best part of your stream. All right, thank you for that. Local Nomad did a 210-bit cheer. All right, let's get him up on the leaderboard because he's the biggest cheer of the day so far. Let's do that. Hold on. Get this working. Here we go. 210 bits? 210 bits. There we go. Local Nomad says the following. This is random. Oh, because we haven't had any random stuff so far on today's stream, right? This is random, but there's a 4-way intersection near where I live. This guy does Michael Jackson moves along the crosswalks all day long every day. He's not marketing anything. I think he does it for fun. He's really good. People honk their horns in approval while waiting at the red light. Have you ever seen an impressive street performance? No, but this one time, Kat and I were driving through downtown Renton, the city that we live in, and there was a guy, I'm not exaggerating here, and I'm not making this up, I promise you. He was so high that he was stumbling through busy city streets during traffic, downtown. He was walking between and in front of cars, barely able to stay on his feet. And then he stumbled onto the sidewalk, tripped and fell on his face onto the sidewalk. He got back up, walked forward, and fell face first into a public garbage can. We witnessed this. And we were both equally appalled and hilariously laughing. We're like, well, and no, he was not homeless. He was wearing, like, nice clothes. He was just high as fuck. So anyway, that's the state of things. Anyway, Diocletian gifted us up to Tasty Muffin. Congratulations, Tasty Muffin. And again, Diocletian, thank you very much for these gifted subs. Atlas Telebon 9 to me $2 and says your bit during the Capitol incident was not offensive at all and was put together pretty good. No worries. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not trying to offend anyone when I say stuff like this. I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, you're an asshole. And, I'm just basically trying to make people understand that being in the middle like I am when it comes to politics is very tough, and I can see things from a perspective that maybe you can't see because maybe you're on one side or the other. And if anything, I hope that what I said this week and the tweets that I put out this week maybe open people's eyes a little bit, okay, to a different way of thinking, because that's always a good thing to have your worldview challenged and make you kind of see outside your own maybe limited perspective. In my opinion, is a great thing. All right, give you a better perspective on life and maybe make you maybe do things a little bit differently. All right, but that being said, I'm not trying to offend anyone. I certainly don't want to derail my gaming content with politics all the time. So I understand why some people were like, hey, lay off that. Ultimate Cloud 7 resubscribed for 20 months. Thank you, Ultimate Cloud 7, for a 20-month sub. I appreciate that. Leg Slab of Doom cheers says, keep being you, Phil. Everyone's unique in their own way, and they come from all walks of life. No one should be telling you how to feel because you're just being honest. Whether it's politics or any hot topic, it's okay to have healthy conversations at the right time, even though some may not agree. We're adults after all. Keep it up and don't change. See, now, Leg Slab of Doom, if everyone on this planet was a mature thinking adult, what you're saying would be very true, but here's the problem. Not everyone is. A lot of people are immature, and like I said previously, a lot of people see the world as black and white. Again, it's either you're with me or you're against me. And so, in a case like this week where there's a lot of stuff going on in our country with politics, God forbid you say something that's not in line with someone's worldview. Like, oh my God, it's the end of the world now because Phil does not believe what I believe, and now I can never watch his content ever again. I would even go as far to say I guarantee you a few people probably will never come back to my streams. As stupid as that sounds. That's how it is. And that's why I don't want to make these streams all about that. Okay? I want people to come here and feel like they can have fun and not have to hear politics all day. Like I said, I guarantee you there's probably certain content creators, all they did was talk politics this week. That's it. You couldn't even get any good gameplay out of them because it was blah, 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 blah about politics. And I don't want to do that. I would much rather have fun with games and let you guys unplug from that stressful shit that you're hearing all day regardless. You don't need to hear it again on my stream. So I understand. It's all about, just like everything, it's all about moderation. If I feel like I need to talk about it, I will, but I will not always, okay? Okay. The Last Rambo cheered. Is there any plans for the Series X? The medium's releasing by the end of the month. It's not coming to Xbox One, which is good because your X1 model is outdated. I want a Series X. I've repeatedly said this publicly. I want an Xbox Series X. Problem is they're not available anywhere. You can't get them. You can't pre-order. You can't buy it. It's, both PS5 and Xbox Series X are in the same boat here, where they're just not readily available anywhere. Once it becomes readily available, which you would hope, by, say, the middle of 2021, maybe by the middle, all right, you'd be able to get your hands on one easily by just buying it online. There'll be enough stock. But for now, every single time they say that it's going to be available online, it's gone within seconds. So there's just no way for me to get one. I want one, and there's just no way for me to get one. Okay? So it is what it is. Eventually, I feel like I will get one. But what can I do right now? Right? Ninstar Rune cheered, talking about politics. I'm not going to do that. Sorry, Ninstar Rune. All right. Lord Munt has subscribed to the channel. Thank you, Lord Munt, for the sub. I appreciate that. Ninstar Rune cheers, I find it odd trolling happens when Infinite 55 isn't here. Really activates my almonds. Well, I'm sorry your almonds have been fully activated. Maybe you should do something about that. Right? I don't know. It activates your almonds. Almonds! Anyway, Super Blind Man is here. What's going on, Super Blind Man? It's good to see you today, sir. He says, greetings. Today is a good day. I got a consulting gig, and I can say a little bit about it. I'll be working on a psychological horror game called I Wasn't Aware. Yay. Well, that's cool. That's cool. And being that you're consulting on it, sounds like they want to make it accessible for the blind. A psychological horror game accessible for the blind. Now, that's interesting. And here's why I say that. Because in horror games, typically, there's an element of shock value that usually is what's scary, right? With, if you're blind, you can't visibly immediately see something that's meant to be interpreted as scary. So the fact that this is a psychological horror game is interesting. I'm curious because I'm trying to think of psychological horror games that I've played. Like, for example, Soma. Now, that game, originally when it starts off, doesn't even feel like a horror game. But over the course of the game, the plot of the game makes you think about things like mortality, life and death, the human existence, what is real, what is not, what's a soul, what is an AI considered an independent living creature or not, right? So, that's interesting. Also, let's be honest here, sound is a huge part of horror games, right? And it could be as simple as a loud, jarring sound for a jump scare, which happens all the fucking time. They do that shit all the time, right? Or it could be something more eerily ambient noise, and what the hell is that, right? So this is interesting to me, that you're going to be covering a psychological horror game. I'm curious, what kind of horror elements they'll be using in that game, and how will they make that game accessible, right? So, cool. I'm glad you got another consulting gig. Sounds great to me. And I look forward to hearing more about it. Congratulations, by the way. I agree. Contel, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, says, to be honest, sound design is hugely underrated in games. Absolutely it is. Some people just gloss right over sound and don't realize what a big role it plays in games. I'll give you an example here. Last year's The Last of Us 2, one of the most accessible AAA games ever because the sound design allowed you to use a sonar type device or a sonar type tracking to play the game even if you couldn't see it, which is pretty damned awesome. Another example I'll give you. Right now, with the PlayStation 5, I have no capability to have surround sound. I don't. I can only use stereo sound. It is a huge detriment for games like Call of Duty. Like when I used to play Call of Duty, I could actively hear enemies coming from different directions. I would know which door they're coming from, and I would be able to get the drop on them all the time. I can't do that anymore because I only have stereo sound. I can't tell where I'll hear footsteps. I'll be like, I don't know if they're coming from here or here. I have no idea, so I just got to wait for the visual, and that's a detriment, So sound design can be a huge thing in games that a lot of people, I feel, don't understand what goes into it. They just kind of take it for granted, right? For someone like Super Blind Man, who's a consultant for accessibility, sound design is probably one of the most important things in a game, It's interesting when you open your eyes to a different view of someone else. Because like I said, all of us kind of take it for granted, but then there's an entire group of people out there who they rely pretty much on sound design to even be able to play a game at all, right? Pretty crazy. Lake Slap of Doom has done a 250-bit cheer. Thank you very much, Lake Slap of Doom. I appreciate that. I need to update the leaderboard. Yes. Hold on a second. Let's get this updated. Where we go? Leg Slap of Doom. 250 bits. There we go. Oh my god, excuse me. Absolutely disgusting. And sometimes sound design can go horribly against you like it just did. I'm really sorry, everyone. I did not mean to belch into the microphone. That was gross. Leg Slap of Doom chooses here's the rest of my bits. I just came back by to stop by. I'm going to spend some time with my family today, so be safe, take care, and I'll try to catch up on your stream later. Well, thank you very much, Leg Slap of Doom. I'll see you later. Thank you. Ninstar Rune just cheers. Regarding sound in games, Bungie had a little documentary thing for sound. They climbed up in the mountains, walked around in snow for hours to capture samples for snow crunching under boots. It's a thankless but essential job. If you do a good job, no one will care about it. I mean, that's not true, I don't believe. I do believe there are people, again, someone like Super Blind Man, that someone like him will appreciate it so much and will get such a better and robust gameplay experience out of a game that has good sound design. And so it doesn't go completely underappreciated or ignored, but the problem is I think a lot of people do ignore it and don't understand what goes into it. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, shout out time. Shout out time for those who've been the big cheerers of the week. Thank you to those who have supported the channel in a big way this week. I really do appreciate it. In 10th place, Wheelchair Bound. In 9th place, Local Nomad. In 8th place, Golden Colts. In 7th place, Timbo Slice. In 6th place, The Leg Slap of Doom. In 5th place, Ninstar Rune. 4th place, Ripley Atomic. 3rd place, Rob on Wheels. 2nd place, Titless Smiles. And in 1st place, Lucifer Soul. Also, thank you to those who gifted subscriptions this week. We have Diocletian and Beastbot who gifted 2 subs each. Spawn Killer and Sub Bomber who gifted 3 subs each. Golden Nobles who gifted 4 subs. We've got Dragon Ball Final Gout, Darkside Jasper, and Play Code Vane who each gifted 10 subs each. Duh Tractor who gifted 15 subs. And Real Organic Growth who gifted 16 subscriptions. Thank you guys very much. Sir Spartan King Cheer says, do you have the no set up for the stream? No, yes, I do, as you can see. Oh, it's actually off. The camera's slightly off. Fuck it. We're just going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it as it is. I don't care. Fuck it. Who cares? Okay. All right, guys. So, let's take a break. I need to use the restroom. All right. And when we come back, it's Assassin's Creed Valhalla. The first time I'm doing this on a mainstream in like 2 months. All right. So, hopefully you will join me. Hopefully you will enjoy. It should be a fun session. And I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too. All right. And I'll see you in a bit. Thanks. In the meantime, listen to some music. I'll be right back.